This video is for both new and experienced players alike if you're either just getting into escalations, struggling with the 10 to 50 escalation, or even struggling with the heroic escalation. This is going to be a 6-part series that I release on a weekly basis depending on what the current heroic escalation is. Since this week's heroic escalation is Blaze, we're going to cover the Blaze Escalation Talent tree in this video. First off, let's cover where you go to access the Escalation Talent tree in case you are unaware of where it is located. You come over here by Ark and Drew, and right over here is the menu to access the Escalation Talent tree. As a general rule of thumb, if you are just starting escalations, you will want to run the 1 to 13 escalation of the element until you get to around escalation level 10 in that particular element before moving on to the 10 to 50 version of that element. And before starting the heroic escalation of that element, you will want to usually max out this tree. At a minimum, you will want to be level 20 before attempting heroic escalation. Getting the extra talent points by going all the way to 25 is definitely worth the effort. So let's go take a look at the Blaze Escalation Talent tree. Now, when you clear an element escalation for the first time, you are going to get Power Boost 1. This is going to give you increased damage and reduced damage received for each amp active on you during an escalation. That perk you get from talking to the crystal after you finish a round of an escalation. At level 5, you are going to get 100 combat merits. We don't really care about this one, but at level 10, you're going to unlock Power Boost 2. This is why I usually recommend people wait until they've cleared 10 levels of the Escalation Talent tree before moving on to 10 to 50, because that second power boost is going to be really, really helpful after that. Now, when you clear 20, you're going to get an extra amp available for your selection, which is going to make it a lot easier to pick out better amps throughout the escalation. And this will really help while you're in 10 to 50. Then the next perk you get is at level 20, Power Boost 3. This is why we recommend you wait until at least level 20 before jumping into heroic escalation, so you have the maximum amount of armor and defense going into the heroic escalation. Then at level 25, you are going to unlock the cosmetic bonuses for that element's escalation. As you can see, we have a total of 25 talent points to spend. The way we're going to break these talent points down is what I would spend every 5 levels. For our first 3 points, we're going to put those into go time. This is going to give us 15% attack speed to all players for 20 seconds or until you take damage. Really good amp early on in the escalation tree. Let's talk about squad goals before we move on though. A lot of newer players are going to take squad goals. The reason why we're not going to take squad goals though is because it's going to add another amp to the pool, and we'd rather be picking from our best amps instead of putting more amps that aren't that great into the pool. Squad goals is going to be really reliant on other people having it in order to get any good use out of it. For our 4th point, we're going to put 1 point into Zai's maneuvers. This is going to give us +5 movement speed during the Blaze escalation. This is going to help you get through the escalations a little bit faster, and if you're running Tempest, this is actually going to increase the damage of your Tempest Omnicell. For our 5th point, we're going to put 1 point into Borman's Might. This is going to give you extra stagger damage when you're in a Blaze escalation. Now, 1 point into this is going to give you 5% extra stagger damage. This isn't going to be useful if you're a repeater player, but it's useful for just about every other weapon in the game. All right, and then for the next 5 points, we're going to put 2 more points into Borman's Might, which is going to increase your stagger damage by 15% now while you're in a Blaze escalation. We're going to put 1 point into Zai's maneuvers, bringing it up to 2 points and unlocking our 3rd row in the talent tree. For our last 2 points to get to that level 10 mark, we are going to put 2 points into Paragon's Blessing. What this is going to do for us is dodging through an attack grants 17% damage to all slayers for 20 seconds or until you take damage. This is a really good damage boost for the entire party every time you dodge. All right, now that we've got 10 points into the tree, let's talk about the next 5. Right away, we're going to bring Paragon's Blessing up to 3. Giving us 20% damage to all slayers for 20 seconds or until you take damage. For our next point, we're going to put 1 point into Breath of Life. This is going to give us 6% life steal for 8 seconds after taking damage. This is a great survivability boost and will be really useful when you get to heroic escalations or if you're struggling on the 10 to 50 escalations. This is also going to unlock the 4th row of the talent tree. Then the next 3 points we're going to spend, bringing us up to a total of 15 now, is to max out Moira's reinforcements. This is going to give us a 15% passive damage reduction in Blaze escalations. This is going to really help when you get to Heskas or if you're struggling on 10 to 50 escalations currently. All right, let's spend 5 more points on this talent tree to get us up to that level 20 talent tree build. We're going to backtrack a little bit and put 1 more point into Breath of Life, bringing that up to an 8% life steal for 8 seconds to give us even more survivability. And then we're going to put 3 points into Cat's Claws. This is going to give us a 10% passive attack damage bonus during Blaze Escalations. This is a great damage bonus and should really help with your clear time on the Blaze Escalations. And to bring our total points spent to 20, we're going to put a point into Pack of Swiftness. For the next encounter, meaning the next fight you do, be it 1 or 2 behemoths, until you clear the next round, you're going to take 25% more damage. But afterwards, you're going to gain both 15% attack speed and 15% movement speed. This is another good boost for Tempest players, but a great boost for everybody too. Now that we're at 20 talent points spent, we've unlocked the final row for the Blaze Escalation talent tree, but we are not going to take anything in that final row. What these amps are going to do are going to unlock amps from the other escalations, usually 2 or 3 amps each. This one's going to unlock amps from the Umbral escalation. None of these are going to be really beneficial to us. This one's going to unlock some from the Terra escalation, but other than Pack of Hunger, none of these are really all that worth it, and there's better things we can spend the talent points on. And the next one's going to add some amps from the Shock escalation tree. The problem with these things are they're going to add a lot of filler amps to your amp pool and dilute the amps you can get, and none of these are going to really provide much value other than the Pack of Hunger that you could get from the top one. That one's pretty good, but all the other stuff it's going to add to your pool makes it not worth it in my opinion. So let's talk about where we're going to put the last 5 of these talent points. We're going to put one more to max out Pack of Swiftness. This is giving us 20% attack speed now and 15% movement speed. That attack speed bonus is going to really help with your clear time on the escalation if you pick up this amp early on. The next thing we're going to do is put a point into Full Throttle. Full Throttle is going to give you a 30% critical strike chance, but only until the next behemoth is defeated. Now I would recommend not picking up this amp unless it comes up as your last amp of the escalation, meaning the one you get just before you go fight Torgadoro, giving you a 30% critical strike chance bonus for the entire Torgadoro fight. Alternatively, you can pick this up a little bit earlier on maybe one of the 2 behemoth fights to kill one of the behemoths a little bit quicker. Now that's going to leave us with 3 points to spend, and you have a couple options for these last 3 points. If you're still farming parts at this point and not getting enough drops from the Keystone behemoth, Torgadoro in this case, you could pick up this passive to give you a 15% chance to get double rewards in the Blaze Escalation. Really good option if you're still farming parts and still working on builds. You could put 3 points into Thrill of the Hunt, which will give you a damage bonus for every behemoth you defeat. The problem with this one is that if it doesn't come up as your first amp choice, it's really not worth taking at that point. So at this point, I would put 2 points into Torrent Shield, which is going to give your Lantern Hold ability the added perk of giving 300 shields to all Slayers for 15 seconds. This is especially nice if you're playing Revenant to give you that extra shields while you're low on health. And for the last point, I max out Zai's maneuvers. I like to play Tempest from time to time, and this is extra damage for Tempest, as well as just extra movement speed to get through the escalations faster. I hope you guys found this video useful. The Blaze Escalation talent tree is pretty straightforward, to be honest, so it's a good one to start with as far as explaining the talent tree to you guys. But we're going to be making 6 of these videos in total, 1 every week, and whichever element is the heroic escalation is going to be the one we base that video on for the week. If you guys have any questions or need some help with builds, feel free to join the Discord and ask away. We have plenty of builds posted up in the Discord and plenty of helpful people looking for more players to hunt with. Don't forget to like the video. It really helps push it out in the YouTube algorithm. And if you're a newer player to Dauntless just getting into escalations, I have a build guide for pre-escalation builds right here. I'll see you guys in the next video.